Hello, wrestling fans. Blake Smith from Walking the Ropes, and welcome to another episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review for AEW Rampage from Long Island, New York. To open the show, we had Death Triangle taking on the Butcher, the Blade, and Mark Quinn, or the Andrade Family Office. It should be an interesting match, as it is a return of the Death Triangle to in-ring action as a trio. They look to be ready to show that they have not missed a beat. Quickly, Penta takes control, and he and Pac double-team the Blade, and the AFO wait until the ref is distracted to take out Pac outside the ring and allow the Butcher to take control momentarily. Jericho, also during this time, gives the Butcher and the Blade the Sports Entertainer of the Week award. I believe it's like the Jericho Sports Entertainer of the Week, I think. Pac then comes back and stares down the Butcher, and Phoenix and Quinn come in to pick up the pace. These two start going move for move, and Phoenix takes control, taking out Quinn and then hitting then his partners. These two are an interesting clash of styles. These two teams are. Death Triangle is high-flying, hard-hitting action, with Penta being kind of like the big guy of this team. The AFO, on the other hand, or this variant of the AFO, I should say, is kind of a mixed bag. They are a combination of technical, high-flying, and powerhouse wrestling, and the AFO take control doing exactly just that. Phoenix, though, doesn't stay down, and he fights back against the Blade and makes the tag to Penta, who clears the ring, and makes Mark and the Butcher and takes on Mark and the Butcher at the same time. Pac then gets the win as Penta and Phoenix soar over the top rope, and I believe he hit I believe it was the Falcon Arrow, but I could be wrong. After the match, the House of Black appears and then disappears. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. The match was very high, fast moving, all honesty. Surprise, surprise. But yeah. We then get Shawn Spears versus Bear Boulder. Spears has to take on the larger Boulder. I believe Bear Bronson is the shorter of the two, as I assume he's kind of asked for this match as a warm-up, sort of, for fighting Wardlow. I say warm-up, more of a, look, Wardlow, I can take on big guys. Spears is overconfident, and Bear makes him pay to start out, and he's just beating on Spears until Spears thumbs the eye, while Bear is up on the second rope beating down on him, allowing for Spears to put him on his shoulders and hit the C4 for the win. That's pretty much the only offense Spears got. He then grabs a chair and smashes Bear with it. I doubt Wardlow will beat this easy, if he's even going to stand a chance against Wardlow. For my WTR scale, I gave that a good. We then get Mark Sterling and Tony Nese talking about their upcoming tag match. So it is Mark Sterling, that was the other member. At Double or Nothing against Hookhausen. And Mark says it's not going to happen because he's not even a wrestler, he's a lawyer. Tony says it doesn't matter, he's going to handle both of them by himself. For my WTR scale, I gave that a good. These two, we then get our Ruby Soho versus Riho Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament quarterfinal. These two are on the other side of the bracket, so their opponent will be decided later. I believe that is the match between Britt Baker and the Joker. The Owen has been a great set of tournaments so far. And I've said it before, I'm so happy we are getting to respect Owen in a great way like this. These two start out slow and technical with roll-ups and throws. Neither woman is able to get a good set of moves going in a string as the other comes back with something. Ruby, though, starts to get a ruthless edge as she slams Rio face first, but then Rio is able to block a big kick and lock in a variation bow and arrow. They continue back and forth and going move for move when Rio is able to start to wear down Ruby with a series of moves. This has been a great match as they are truly showing what they are made of here as Ruby starts to show some life again. Ruby then drops Riho and then hits a big kick for a near fall. She then follows it up with the Blade Runner and gets the win. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. They did awesome. I really am impressed with all of the Owen matches. I can't say it enough. Respecting Owen, it has been probably my favorite thing AEW has done in the last year or so. We then get the Gun Club and the Acclaim talking. Now that they're a faction, Billy Gunn is kind of leading this meeting, I guess. They say they need a handshake or a hand gesture, and the Guns suggest the DX chop, and the Acclaim suggest their scissor. They go with the scissor. The Guns then reference for catchphrase the suck it. The Acclaim then say, I believe it's just AO, which is razors, is it not? Whatever. We then get told that they have a match on Elevation. Okay. My WTR scale, I gave it a meh. It just didn't feel... I don't know. It's going to turn into something, I hope, because they're putting it on TV. But we shall see. Jade and the Baddies make their way to the ring to talk about, I believe it's Red Velvet's match, because Hikaru Shida is not cleared for action for the Owen Hart tournament. Jade takes the mic quickly to point out the baddies in the audience, but Tony finally takes the mic back and moves on and says, we need to talk about what's going on here. Shida has been hurt, not medically cleared, I guess is what they said. And then Jade says she doesn't care. And then Mark says that Red should just win by forfeit because Shida can't compete. Tony says that Tony Khan has better ideas. We are going to replace Hikaru Shida with Chris Statlander. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. That is amazing. I can't wait for that match. That's story there because Red and Chris are former friends. Now Red kind of turned heel here, and yeah, so it's going to be great. Mark Henry then talks with the main event competitors. Paige talks for Sky, and then says, of course he will win because Kaz doesn't deserve the match in the first place. Basically starts arguing with Sky, saying, you know, why did you give him the match? That, the other. And then Sky says it's because he gave him his word, and he's going to put respect back to the TNT Championship, so that way it's not the, I don't want to say like tossed around title, but for a little bit there it was being kind of hopped, and I'm glad we are bringing some prestige back to it. Dan doesn't care about that, saying it doesn't matter. What matters is winning, and basically that Kaz comes in and says, you know, this isn't their interview, this isn't their match, this is Sky's match, and Sky says he's putting respect on the TNT Championship. Tells the Men of the Year, Dan Lambert and Ethan Page, to take the night off, and he will take it himself. I'm glad that he said that, because that is something I didn't expect of the heel in this match. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. We then get our main event. Again, AEW killed it with these posters. The this one I feel like is a reference to Star Wars. It could be a horror movie as well. I am not 100% certain, but I absolutely love these posters. They make the match feel really, really special. Sammy and Ty are watching at the crowd with their AAA championships. I believe it is the mixed championships or the intergender championships, whatever the tag titles there. This is going to be a great match as these two have so much history, not even just as tag partners, but just in general. It's going to be epic as they are so similar. They go back and forth trying to one-up the other with whatever they can think of. Then, as they start to pick up the pace, they just run into each other, stopping both men dead. They spill to the outside as Sky soars over the top rope and then starts to take control. Sky's wearing down Kaz, but Kaz starts to come back with some hard-hitting offense, and then in the ropes, following it up with a great combo of moves. Kaz then comes for the leg drop off the middle rope, but Sky catches him and goes for the TKO, and they just kind of have a reverse off here. Eventually, Kaz hits the big leg drop off the middle rope and takes a bit too long to go for the cover, so Sky kicks out. He goes then for the chicken wing, and Sky fights out and floats over the top rope, where Kaz uses the momentum to spring Sky over the top rope from the apron to the middle to hit a cutter. Sky just won't die here, as he is just enduring the onslaught of Kaz, I should say. He hits a huge set of moves again, ending in the chicken wing, and it is locked in deep. Kaz would have won it too if Dan and Paige didn't end up coming in and distracting the ref and smashing him with the title. Sky then hits the TKO for the win, and after the match, Sky gives Kaz props, but Kaz tells him what's happening. Sky gets mad, they start yelling, and Paige yells right back into the mic, says, "Whose team are you on?" Sky turns and smashes Frankie Kazarian with the title. That is the end. Sami and Ty did come into the ring, but it wasn't really a save. It was more because Dan called Ty a whore. And so, yeah. My WTR scale, I gave that a great. Overall, it was a great Rampage. They absolutely know how to book that hour. It feels like it's 2 hours while you're watching it. You fit 4 matches almost in, or 3, I believe was tonight's. It's amazing. The segment of the night goes to Jade and the Baddies. Surprisingly, I don't hate them as much as I did. I guess I just needed Jade to have 2 other people, so that way it just worked a bit better. The match of the night, the TNT title match, that was a barn burner, really. They absolutely killed it. And the match of the night, the performers of the night goes to Death Triangle. I was happy to see them back. They really showed there was really no in-ring rust there. Phoenix, happy to see him back in the ring, and yeah, that was awesome. But that is all for this episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review. Thank you all for dropping in. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever we upload a video, and I'll see you in the next one.